It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, model citizens. Welcome to Humanity Junction. Tonight, we're going to talk about the future of my layout. I know you guys all saw the thumbnail, and we'll get to that in a second. But I guess before we get there, we should say hello to everybody, see who's here. I have a Z-scale Ringling Brothers Circus set, but I am always interested in more. Where did you see all that stuff? See, now you got me distracted. Let's say hello before I forget to say hello, because if I get distracted, I might forget to say hello. First on the list tonight, we've got Anthony Dodge, the model train outsider. Barry Olson's in the house. Don Head's here as well. We got Rick from the Foltz Bailey Model Railroad. Chris coming to us from Canada and go via or go home. Jeff Sykes is here. John Train BFGR. We got the Curly Express. Dwight is here. Lynn McCurdy in the High Desert Modular Model Railroad Club. Dave from BNSF and Scale. We got Midsummer Railway and Scale from down in Australia. Devon McKenzie joining us. We got Bernard from Mini Prince. Andrew, Mr. Pictova. Nathan Five Chimes in the house. Norm Miller joining us from South Carolina. We got Rayron VR, the Ice Dragon. Rick's Railroad. Mr. Roy Eltham waking up from a nap. We got John from Schuylkill River Valley. Thomas Split Rock, who's a little under the weather. We've got Stormy Sky Rail Productions. We got Paul from the C and NW Mondavi line. Thomas Grassi reminding all of us that it is Pi Day. It is March 14th, 3.14. Happy Pi Day to everybody. Stephen from Wigwag Workshop. And last on the list today is not Stephen, but we've got Mike from Wicked Insanity joining us as well. I'm seeing a bunch of people sneaking in late. Nobody's ever really late. Sidetrack 77, we got Dennis from Otter Creek and Rio Grande coming in. I hope I have gotten everybody. Thank you all for being here. I know Railroad Enthusiast says it's 8 p.m. According to my clock, it's 8:04 p.m. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you, but Mr. Pictovic kicking the night off with a $5 super chat for the Humanity Fund. Thank you so much to that, Andrew. Andrew has consistently contributed on all of my live streams, and it has not gone unnoticed. Speaking of contributions, I think people might remember from last week that I might have just had a 50th birthday, and today in the mail, I got this fantastic little soldering iron that I've been actually looking at for a little while. It's called Pinacell. I guess it's supposed to be like pencil, but it's Pinacell. Smart soldering iron. I believe it's a USB controlled soldering iron if I'm not mistaken, but I am looking forward to getting to give this a try. This is a really cool tool that I think will come in very handy. Mike says, I can't be late. I'm a wizard. B&B Railroad saying, sup. What's up? Dennis is listening and trying to scratch build. I hope Gail is there helping you out with all of the tools that you are going to need for tonight's project. Alan from Mason Dixon said I skipped an op session for this. Better be good. Alan, you should probably go run and try and catch that op session, because I don't know. That's a lot of pressure right there. That's a lot of pressure. Andrew, it is an interesting soldering iron. I learned about it from someone that does a bunch of electronic stuff. You guys probably know him as the president of Silicon Valley Lines, James Brazel. I think he was the first one to mention it to me. But then Roy Eltham gifted it to me for my birthday, so that was really awesome. Oh, wait, Rick's seen the... Oh, was this past weekend, Toledo, Ohio. Toledo, Ohio? Toledo, Ohio. I think that's right. Had a train show, and I'm wondering if Anthony is talking about that. Joey's asking, where is the staging yard going to be on that figure eight? There is none. It just goes in a circle. It's a loop. It's simple. No issues, no problems. People that have been watching this channel long enough, do I overcomplicate things? I think everyone knows the answer is yes. I'm trying to take a step back and see if I can take a different approach to model railroading. Thank you, Lynn McCurdy, for the super chat towards keeping your train on the table and a late birthday gift. It's funny you actually mentioned that. I took and I slid, if you look at kind of where the layout is now, you can't really see the edge. Let's see if I can, yeah, so there you can see the edge. At one point I had it right up to the edge, and I like pushed it back because I was well afraid of it coming off of the table as it made its loop. But if you guys remember, this was from last week. I started making some car cards. This one was from Locomotive 301, which is that locomotive right there. And we don't need this anymore because, you know, we don't need it. Throw that away. Done with that. Heath never complicates things, see? What are we talking about Pluto again now? If Container Man's in here, don't get him started on, is Pluto a dwarf planet? Or if we get him going, we'll be here all night discussing it. Automate it. Yeah, I'll automate my figure 8 loop. Crossover will cause a problem with teeth. So I have actually ran this already once, although, okay, there we go. I'm trying to see if I can get this thing to move now. We'll see if it works. Maybe, hopefully, it should start moving. Oh, is my last comment, the solar system train won't fit on that. That is very true. That is very true. The solar system train will definitely not fit on this loop. But here it is, the future of Humanity Junction. We've got the traditional figure eight. I was thinking tonight to see how many cars I could get on here before they hit each other at the center. But I figured I should, keep it simple. We don't want to get too complicated. Now I get it. Now I see that comment. See, I'm going forward and then backward and then forward and then backward. It was either make more trees for the layout or see what scale you switch to. I don't know what I mean, is it switching scales if you already own most of the scales? I don't know how that works. Run two trains. Should I run them in opposite directions or in the same direction? I'm not sure how that works. The figure eight's too small. My desk is only so big. There's no that's all I can do. Yes, you're correct. Andrew from Mr. Victovid, that it isn't a figure eight, it's the infinity symbol, because like the Lamb Chops Sing Along theme song, it goes on and on and on. It's S-scale time. I still need S-scale track. That's still something I'm missing. Two trains that barely dodge each other. John, I appreciate the optimism. No excuses, get a bigger desk. I really want to make this desk smaller. I don't know. I feel like if I made the desk smaller, the room would feel bigger. Yeah, we're not adding a second train. Roy, don't look at that. That's hidden. That's a secret. No, we're doing this simply. There's no ESU loc programmer. No, double track main. Yeah. Oh, 3 trains. So not just 2. You want to go up to 3. So infinity loop because of pi. Ooh, now, see, that would have been a great idea. I could have gotten into this this show by saying that this is a representation of the number of decimal places of pi, but I ruined that, didn't I? I didn't come up with that. I am noticing it's bothering me a little bit. I need to slide the layout over so you can see both ends. There we go. That's a little better. Now you can see both ends. Double track needs, simply use Tyco DC. I could have. Double track needs 4 crossings. It does. I was debating whether to put more boxcars on this. Right now I've got a switcher, 2 boxcars, and a caboose. And I was thinking about adding another boxcar, and you guys are wanting me to add a whole nother train and now a helix. I don't know. Start the show over again. I would have to make a new thumbnail before I could start the train over again. So yeah, this is my new train layout. I am right now. It is, as Roy caught on. We are running on DCC right now, and this is my main central 301 switcher with an ESU select micro direct decoder or something like that. I did think about that. If people want to see that, I'll add a couple more. I can add a couple more boxcars if people want to see this. I have, when I was thinking of doing a bigger layout than just this, I've got a couple extra boxcars, so I could throw some additional boxcars on here, and we could almost make them miss themselves as well. See, Lynn likes it. Lynn knows. Lynn goes to train shows. Lynn sets up. Lynn runs the trains in a loop, and he understands the joy of the simplicity of it as well. Roy, did you get that nap? You were supposed to get that nap so that you wouldn't be grumpy. I will share a book that I got. This was recommended on the Anna-Marie interchange. It's apparently a good overview of operations. It's by Bruce Chubb, as you can probably tell from the book. Yeah, well, there it says Kalmbach Books. It was, what year was it? 1977. This book was written in. So I'm gonna, while we're watching just trains run in circles, I thought this would be something interesting for me to kind of read through and kind of learn some things about. I'm trying to figure out what this page. Oh, it's like a smaller page. Learn something about operations, and we'll see how it goes. Dave says, yeah. So I think this is the new edition, and you can tell it's the new edition because of the clothing that they are wearing in the cover photo. Yeah, right. The wood panels, the haircuts that we have that we can see here. The clothing is. Shouldn't we all have, whenever we do op sessions, shouldn't we have to dress like this? But yeah, this is my next. This is gonna be my next reading thing. I just finished. What was the guy's name? Sam Posey. Sam Posey wrote a book in, I think it was 2004, about his layout. He mentioned some other names in the industry, but it was just kind of interesting to read that book. It was a little more of a novel, and this is a little bit more of a educational book, I guess you would say. But yeah, that's that. Let's see. I'm looking for some other boxcars that we can throw on here. As we're going simple, I'm grabbing some older boxcars. We'll see. We got another New York Central 50-footer. We got a couple 40-footers. Should I stop it to put the other cars on? Or should I just let it keep going? Would you wear a shirt and a tie to a train show? Yeah, Mike, I remember that haircut when I had hair. Oh, that's too funny. Once again, Heath builds a layout and there's no scenery. Is there supposed to be scenery on a layout? I was actually, NERX is coming up, and I'm going to be a part of one of the roundtable discussions. And the person hosting the show sent around a list of questions. And I was kind of going through and answering some of the questions. And I realized that I don't think, until 2019, I don't think I had ever put scenery on any layout or any sort of thing that we ever built. Does he really? Bruce Chubb has a new YouTube channel? Do you think I can find it? Let's see if we can find it, because now I'm excited. Bruce Chubb. Bruce Chubb, Sunset Valley Railroad. Look at that. MRH video featuring Bruce Chubb's Sunset Valley Railroad. Subscribe. Here we go. Let's drop it in the chat. So here he is. I think this is it. Bruce Chubb. There is an older gentleman in the picture. So I think that is him. It's not a layout, it's a setup. I know, right? How about an LNLX? Oh, that's a good idea. If people don't know, LNLX is a late night railroads leasing company, and I happen to have a car from the leasing company. Be sure to say next question before each question. I'm not asking the questions, they're asking me the questions. Lynn says it's not a layout without scenery. It's just a track on a desk or a floor. And I guess that's what I was kind of wondering a little bit is did I ever actually, like have a layout? I don't know that I ever did. It needs some runtime. I don't disagree. Oh, wait, let me stop this. Oh. All right, I missed where I wanted to stop the train, so we'll let the train keep going just a little bit longer. Well, and that's an interesting point too. There are a lot of plywood Pacific operating layouts because when you're focusing on operations and you want to make sure that your track is bulletproof, you'll probably run that for quite a while before. So I'm trying to stop it. It's slowing down. It's not stopping. This is the whole thing where I still don't understand ESU decoders. Your reverse side transfer end scale layout. Yes, it does. I do have some building flats. I do have some items on it. But again, it's kind of my first thing. Yeah, I still don't understand independent versus dynamic brakes. I eventually just used the dynamic brakes to stop it because I didn't want to wait. And I can't even get the car on the track. See, this is what happens. This is what happens. Oh, come on. There you go. There we go. Now we're on the track. I think. Hold on. What are you doing? Why are you causing problems? Oh, I may need to swap these wheels. I think these are pizza cutters, and I think that could be why they're not. There we go. Let's try this. Oh, I just knocked it off the track again. We'll get this going eventually. I know you guys are all like looking at my bald head now. I know. Runs in the family. At least that's what I'm told. Let's get these coupled up. Coupled up. There we go. Coupled. All right, let's add another one while we're at it. A layout is basically an arrangement. If you think of it, yes, in graphic design terms, that is true. That is very true. All right, so how many of these should I add? I mean, I don't think these won't be more than enough. I may have to run it. Chris, you missed it. Roy already called me out on that. Yes, my figure 8 is being run with a loc programmer because that's I'm making things simpler, but I can't take away all of the complications. John says add as many as I can. I have a problem with end scale. Oh, yeah. Mike, I get that. I get that. All right, should I add a couple more? Let's see. Let's see what I can find. I don't know how well this is going to work. I'm not feeling overly optimistic about this. But, we'll see. Things could happen. Things could go well. Is anyone counting the number of cars? Because I lost count a while ago. Mike, did you, I know you were working on your scenic ridge. Where did you ever get with that? And I don't know if people can see, but the photos are in here as well. If you remember, I did a video a while ago where I put photos into all the cars, and they're all still in there. I'm kind of wondering if I'm gonna get like a string line derailment, because I didn't consider putting these in any sort of specific numerical numerical, specific order to avoid that. All right, so we're not quite making a full loop yet, but we're close. Yes, it's almost done. There you go. I wish HO scale cars. I know. I that's one of the things I definitely like about N scale. 10 cars plus loco and caboose. It's pretty good that switcher can actually pull things. No, this is Railroad Enthusiast. This is N scale. So my desk is 50 inches by 30 inches. So this is, what is this? This is like 18 inches? Something like that. 12, 13, 14, 15, yeah, 17 inches. Something like that. 17 inches wide is what this is. So we're getting there. Oh, not now 9? Oh, you were counting. I could still fit about 3 more. I don't know. I feel like people are just asking me to add cars because they just want to see this thing. They want to see this thing crash eventually. But I don't know if that's really people's intention or if that's just kind of the way it's going. Or the way it's looking like it's going to go. 826. Here's 2 more. See, now again, I have to try and stop this. I'm just going to use dynamic braking because with dynamic braking, it stops. Let's go. Let's take the caboose off. I should have probably stopped it somewhere where I could actually tell when I have the max number of cars on the layout, or I'm just going to end up running them into each other at some point. Just waiting for the train to tip over. Yeah, I am unfortunately waiting for that as well. There we go. So John thought, somebody said they think I could get 3 more on here. So let me just grab 1 more, which will be adding 3, and we'll see if, we'll just run it and we'll see if it collides. I think that's kind of the plan at this point, is it's either going to work or it's not going to work. Let's see if I can get this on. There we go. And let's roll this caboose over. That's off the tracks. Okay. So, do we want to vote on whether we think this is gonna? Do we think this is gonna collide in the center? I'm kind of looking where this is and looking where that is, and I think this might not work. While we're thinking about this,
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
so Roy says it'll just barely make it. Steve87 PSAP says they're not hitting. I actually think I could add 1 more car. Is my prediction is 1 more car. But let's fire it up. We'll see what happens. It'll hit. It won't hit. It'll end up on the floor. Something's going to happen. All right, so the good news, drive hold was just working right there. Well, this might be a problem I didn't exactly expect. So the problem right now is you can't hear it, but the locomotive is just spinning. I need to throw some sand on the tracks. The wheels are just spinning and spinning and spinning. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Here we go. Yeah, I could add it. I could have added another car. I don't know that that switcher could pull this if I added another car. So this is notch 8. too much of a grade. It's flat. How is that too much of a grade? Which camera angle is bothering you? The overhead shot? Do you want the overhead shot angled a little bit more or something? Or you just don't like straight down? I don't know if I could double header it because I don't know with what I'm controlling this with. I don't think the keystone of it. Yeah, it is he's looking at the keystone of the edges. That's funny. Well, this is it. This is the future of humanity Junction. We've got the figure 8, and I'm just gonna keep running this. I don't know how many cars it is. I don't know if somebody wants to count or not. Here. When it comes around again, we'll swap it out. We'll see if we can't up the power. If you make it an oval, you can add more cars and power too. I don't really have enough space. That's it. It's more of a space issue that I'm having. Open file. Let's see. What is this? 111. All right. Now, this is a 6-axle on what I think is going to be track that is way too small of a radius to run a 6-axle. Oh, I just realized what I can do. Actually, here. Let's put this away. Let's get another 4-axle, but a bigger 4-axle. I forgot that I actually had this. I mean, I didn't forget, but I mean, I kind of forgot. Okay, so now let's see. And this should actually connect better. And let's load up this file. Opening project, going to the driver's cab, hitting go. Let's see if we can get this guy moving. You think the 6-axle will run fine? This is the smallest curve that Kato makes. It is, let's see. Ooh, that kind of took off. I may have just unplugged something. I'm not sure what. So this is this. This is, I don't know, 2170. If somebody wants to look up what the radius of that is. So it's small. It's really pretty small. Now, I don't know. I actually don't know how or if I can stop this. I don't know what the... Oh, maybe it's... I don't remember what I programmed this to stop, so I think it might be keep going. Yeah, this is not the tram curves, but this is pretty simple. Yeah, I'm running this off of an ESU log programmer. It is DCC. So if anybody's wondering, I'm not really switching. I'm not really getting rid of the layout. The layout's actually still back there. Everything's still happening behind me. It's still there. But what I did is I set this up because I have a point-to-point layout behind me. So just continuously running a train to break it in is kind of hard to do on the point-to-point. I do have, show which label without glare. I'm not sure what, oh, of the thing? Here. Nope, that didn't work either. I don't know, it's 20-170. R216, yeah, 8.5. It's the smallest non-tram stuff. Why do I only have boxcars? Because that's all I own. I like boxcars. That's what I know. I grew up with the Tyco billboard boxcars. Oh, wow. 4 5/8 of an inch. I don't think I could run these locos on that. But the reason for this figure 8 isn't because I'm getting rid of my layout. It's so that I could break in locomotives. So that is ultimately the goal, is, you know, to break in a locomotive, let it run a half an hour in one direction, let it run a half hour in the other direction, and do that. Yeah. If you hit it 3 times, that's good. Just don't hit it an even number of times. Yeah, I know. Make the big layout a continuous run. I wish. It's not going to happen. But what I am working on, I can kind of get into this a little bit. Let's zoom in. So what I am doing is, as people know, as people might remember, I made these cards for last week, and these were the locomotive cars. I still have to figure out the programming. I think this is how I want it, but I don't know how to actually program this to, like right now, this train should have stopped already. I don't know how to stop this train. It is just going. I don't know what, oh, maybe this. No. I don't know how to stop this train. The throttle's at 0. It's still running. I still have to figure out the programming, but these are the cards that I made. So the other thing that I started doing was I took these blue cards, because, you know, blue for boxcar, and I made, yeah, I know I could unplug it or emergency stop it, but I'm trying to figure out, like, it's got to be programmed somehow to stop. So what I did is I made up these little stickers with the boxcar information. So it's got the reporting marks, the car number, type of car, color, length, and some of these have notes on them, some don't. Like this is from the Friendship train. This is one of the pacemaker cars. So I've been making up these. It is. Right now, I don't know. I mean, I can stop it. I'm just sort of leaving it. I'm not leaving it set up. It'll probably come down and get set back up again. So yeah, this is keeping it simple. Oh, what didn't I notice? What did I miss? A runaway train? Oh, yeah. See, I love it too. Yeah, and I thought this would be a good setup to just break in locomotives. But so what I'm doing is I'm making up all of these cards, and this is what a boxcar card will look like. So I'll have locomotive cars that are like cards. And then I have this as well. I don't have drive hold on. Silver Streak is a good movie with Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. So, yeah. Was the train camera cut out? Oh, I know why that happened. When I went to get this out of the trash can, I hit the USB cable. So you keep watching and think it's gonna hit. So these are cards that I'm making up for all of the. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw that. I almost derailed the train myself. But so I'm just making all of these up. I still don't know what my operation scheme is going to look like. But what I got was, I need to zoom out a little bit for this. So I got this business card holder. Basically, this is designed to just hold your regular business cards, but it's got 6 slots in it. And what I kind of decided was that I have 6 staging tracks. So I can, put all the car cards for the staging tracks in and have, have one thing for each of the staging tracks. So I'll have all these car cards. I guess the next thing I need to figure out is kind of the waybill part of it. So yeah, Southern Yankees trains. This is N scale that I'm doing right now. I don't even know why you would try that. N scale ditch lights. Wow. It's like watching the DVD logo, hoping it'll hit the corner. It might hit the corner. Zero. Oh yeah. I think it was Roy Eltham. Just noticed them on. I don't know where I put them. Roy Eltham noticed them on eBay, pre-wired with leads, and pointed them out. And I ended up buying some of them. I don't know where I put them, and they're so small. So I didn't give up on JMRI. What I'm. I don't know what I'm doing yet. What I think is going to happen. Oh, Amazon has them too? Yeah, it was, I think, was it Eva model? EVE model? Eve model that has them? So yeah, I believe Roy was the one that, no, there we go. All right, so I didn't give up on JMRI completely. What I think I'm going to do, though, is I am going to do the car cards and waybills. And then at some point, what I will likely do is use JMRI to create the switch list so that I get some like randomization and stuff. But then for the actual operating session, you would use the car cards and waybills. I think. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I will add pictures to them. The traditional car cards and waybills don't have pictures. I do have on here what the color of the car is and a note about the car, so they shouldn't be too hard to find. And the car cards always travel with the train, right? So my trains at max will have 8 boxcars on them. So having a stack of basically 9 cards, right? I would have 1 locomotive and 8 boxcars. It shouldn't be too hard to to identify, which boxcar is with which card. The hole is so you can stack the cards and put a ring on it. I'm laughing because of the whole, what was that singer that did the whole put a ring on it thing? But yes, that is correct. The idea is that I'll have, 1 locomotive card and a couple of the other cards, and you can take and put them on a ring so that you don't lose them. So Beyonce, thank you. I couldn't remember her name. Of course, Rick Bailey comes through with the Beyonce reference. I might add caboose cards. I don't know that I'm going to operate with caboose cars. Joey, thanks. There it is. LNLX made it all the way over to my little test setup. I don't know that if I'm ever going to run with a caboose. And if I run with a caboose, what I might do is just run it as, like when you take a train out on the main line, like you have to have a car with an EOT or you have to have a caboose. So it might be one of those things that it's just the operator has to grab a caboose. But so the layout is called Riverside Transfer. Humanity Junction is the ownership company of the Riverside Transfer. So HCJX owns RT. Yeah, I don't know that I'm surprised either. Question: are grounding straps necessary when working with decoders? Are they necessary, or should you do it? The answer is you probably should do it. I would throw the question out to everybody in the chat. Do you use them? I think a lot of people don't use them, but we probably all should. What about a spotting car? I am for the Riverside Terminal going to have idler cars, so those will be required to push the box cars onto the car float. But yeah, op session definitely isn't 100% in yard limits. If you have not seen, let's see if I can get this open quick enough without everybody getting too frustrated and leaving. But you know, it might happen. Here is the, here it is. Let's add it down here. Okay. How do I share this? Here we go. So this is the ops sort of program or whatever. So the staging yard is Croton Harmon Yard on the north side of the layout. You travel through the town of Sleepy Hollow, which is where Bailey's Quality Toothpicks is. You go through a little town that I'm calling On Hudson, and then you get to the main yard. From the main yard, cars would be sent back out to Sleepy Hollow, one of the industrial areas, or they would be set out in the Riverside Terminal yard to eventually be sent out on the car float. The car float's kind of another staging area or off layout area. And then Manhattanville is another industrial area which has commercial packing, which of course is related to my unboxings, but it's called A Burns Box and Crate Company, and Lynn McCurdy made the building for me. It also has the Mink building, which is a real building that existed that made beer, and it's got Tieman's Paint and Dye because, you know, we all like painting and that sort of thing. So I'm hoping somebody is going to come out with an EOT for N scale. I don't know. So the float that this is, so Riverside Transfer, the car float that it is named after, only operated up until the 1960s. So technically, if I was going to operate in the time scheme where this layout might make sense, it would be closer to the 1960s, which means they would use cabooses. But I'm not, you know. John's getting skilled at learning railroad rules. There we go. I run July 1971. Cabooses were still in use. Love them. I've got about 25 cabooses, so Adding them in wouldn't be so much an issue based on what I have available. The problem with adding cabooses is I don't really have track space necessarily. Do you have a do not hump boxcar in your collection? I don't think I do. I do not believe that I do. That's a lot of yard space for toothpicks. So Domino Sugar is this track here, and then it's got a kind of an off-spot track, or a, what do they call that? It's not an interchange track, but they've got a secondary track where if there are too many boxcars to fit up here, you can put one down here. Bailey Quality Toothpicks is this spur right here. So you actually need to use Domino Sugar's overflow track to set your boxcar for Bailey's. So where's the figure 8 go in this plan? Nowhere. Figure 8 just runs in circles. Just going to use it to test and program locomotives and break in the locomotives and just try and get that part, you know, set up and running. I've been doing a lot of thinking and working. I don't know that I'm getting anywhere though. I was talking to Thomas Splitrock about this earlier, and you know, I know the industry names, I know what the buildings are, I know what the towns are called. I have a sense of, you know, a train comes out of staging, you know, out of Croton Harmon Yard, and it goes, it's got, let's say, 8 boxcars. It goes to Humanity Junction. It gets broken down so that it can then go either to Manhattanville or back to Sleepy Hollow or to Riverside Terminal. Then the empties all come back to the yard, and then the empties all get taken to staging. Like, I know the plan. I've thought of the plan. I know what I want to do. What I don't know, or what I haven't been able to figure out, is, well, one, why this train's still running. I still don't understand why this train's running. It should have stopped after 60 seconds, because the momentum that I have set for the train is for 60 seconds, and I don't have any. There's nothing selected, so there should be no drive hold on. So I don't know. I don't know why it's still going. Oh, that's why it's still going. I just learned while it's still going. The reason it's still going is because the loc programmer disconnected from the figure 8. It's no longer connected. When I went and I messed with the thing down below, it obviously it knocked some of the USBs around a little bit, and I lost the connection to it. So I think it should be this guy. And I think that should theoretically have maybe brought it back online. Let's see. Device. How do I spell D? D-E-V-I. I lost the D on my keyboard. You have no idea how hard it is to find the D when you realize you've lost the D. Let's see. Could you make on using a mobile decoder and beacon feature? Yes, probably. I don't know if I want to. I need to work out the frequency of cars to a business. I know, yeah, you guys are all controlling it. I would not put it past you guys to be messing with me. All right, so it's now in Device Manager. That is hilarious. So I've been trying to stop a train that's been running away, and I I can't stop it because I, at some point, lost control of it. Now, here's the thing. With the ESU loc programmer, why doesn't it stop on its own when you lose control of it? Whew, that was interesting. All right, so theoretically now, see, I'm not sure again. There we go. See, I had to use dynamic brakes to stop it. Independent braking just does not work. I don't understand it. Anyway, yeah. I actually posted that on the thing, but so I got this tool to pull the keycaps off my keyboard because I wanted to clean it out because, you know, it's getting a little messy. And I was pulling the keycaps off and my D key just flew into the air. I don't know where it went. I can't find it. So I don't know. Yeah. The train has power and it's fulfilling its last command. What I'm saying is the ESU loc programmer was still connected to the track. It wasn't connected to the computer. When the loc programmer loses its connection to the computer, I would think that the loc programmer would stop putting out power to the track and the train would stop. Yeah, it could be. It could be. I mean, it's got to be in this room. This room is not very big, but there's just stuff everywhere. And when it fell, I thought it fell onto the carpet, but I think it may have fallen onto one of my bags or something that's under here. So I don't know. Thomas, if you can find me an ESU user guide for these decoders, send it to me because I can't find one that gives me any detailed information about the decoder. So if it exists, I haven't been able to find it and nobody else that uses ESU decoders have been able to find it. So if you know where it is, please send it to me. Are you supposed to clean your keyboard? I don't know. You turn it over, you bang it on the desk, and if the keys still don't, did you hear it? Look up. And if the keys still stop working, and whatever. You found it, but it doesn't have, no, I know, but the ones that are on ESU's site don't explain how the independent brake works. It just says that there is an independent brake. And what I need to figure out is how does it work? Well, that's fun. And it's back. So what I'm saying is on ESU decoders, when you set the independent brake to function 10, now I don't know why this is doing this now. When you set it to function 10, it somehow, like when you set the sound function of independent to function 10, somehow the motive function is connected. I don't understand that, and I haven't found anything that's explained it. All right. Well, that was pulled out a little bit. So, yeah, in real life, the independent does stop the loco. See, that's the thing, Roy. It's supposedly not. Supposedly, dynamic braking is sound only, and independent braking is sound and brake. But in my experience, it's backwards. And drive hold also doesn't work. So, I don't know. I mean, yeah, well, I lost the D key. That's for sure. When I was a kid, I cleaned a cash register with Windex and it didn't work after it was clean. Well, that's kind of like my railroad right now. So John says, so you should be able to set the throttle up. When you release the independent, the loco will start. So on ESU, that's called drive hold. And what you can do is you can set it so that function 6 when the locomotive is stopped is drive hold. And then function 6 when the locomotive is moving is independent braking. But yeah, and see, Roy, what you're saying right there is exactly what I want to see in the manual. I want to find a manual that says when I set the independent sound that it also includes independent braking. And on a Loc 5 decoder, independent braking works. On a Select Micro, it doesn't work. But people that have Select Micros tell me that it does work. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm baffled by it. Everyone tells me just look in the manual and it works. People have sent me their ESU files. I've loaded the ESU file onto my locomotive and it doesn't work. So I mean, I get that people are saying just read the manual, but people have sent me files that they say work and it doesn't work. And that's why I'm just like, I don't know. Jason might get me to switch to soundtracks yet with all the issues that I'm having trying to program these ESU decoders. The other thing that I might need to do is swap out the so LocSound 4 and LocSound Select Direct Micro are the same, and LocSound 5 and LocSound 5 Micro have significantly more features. And I mean, I hate the thought of having to swap out my ESU decoders because I feel like they should work, but yeah, soundtracks, yes. Call the tech center. Is there a tech center in the US? I don't know. Oh no. Lynn. Just use the throttle like normal people. I'm not normal people. I've operated on a layout where he uses braking, and I love the feature now. I just find it, I find it a lot of fun. Well, and Dave, that's another part of it, right? Is good luck finding decoders. I have, hey, it stopped. It's just too heavy. I have Atlas locomotives on pre-order that are supposed to come with ESU LocSound decoders, but the silver ones are released, but the ESU ones aren't because they can't get it. Real trains probably brake less than you think. Are you saying because of the weight they slow down on their own? What did you try, Steve? Oh, Steve, you know who you're talking to. I know. What did Steve say? We had an ESU LocSound Tech at our modelers retreat. That's, I mean, honestly, some of the locomotives work, some of the locomotives don't work. At some point, I'll just take them all to Amherst with me next year and have them fix them for me. So yeah, so when you set the braking in the locomotive, even on these, is they still have momentum settings. So you can still set it. So like, here's an example. So I just turned off the speed to this locomotive. I think I've got it set to 60 seconds. So theoretically, it's going to stop after 60 seconds without ever hitting the brakes. We'll find out if that's true or not. Yeah, nobody can get chips right now. Nobody can do that. Yeah, and I'm planning on remapping everything. I like, this is a mapping that is pretty common. A bunch of people use this mapping, So this is probably what I'm going to go to. So yeah. But I don't know if you can tell, but the train is slowing down. So without hitting the brake, it does slow down. But it just has momentum. So, you know, it'll keep going for a certain amount of time unless you do apply the brakes. Split Rock says, you are correct. Curves are worse than hills. Doritos can't even get chips. I'm assuming it's like when you drive a car, how there's a certain amount of engine braking that kind of stops the car from going forward. You need to put a timer in the corner so you can watch the 60 seconds go down. That would be fun. I can do that on the replay. I can add add that to it. I have momentum programmed in a switcher, drive people that run them crazy. The layout that I operate on that I'm kind of emulating with this setup of using the brake puts significantly less momentum in their switchers, but their road locomotives have, you know, like a minute of whatever, so they'll just keep running and running and running. But yeah, Rusty, that's funny. Yeah, you can. I mean, that's what's fun about the proto throttle, though, right? I mean, you know, you put a switcher on a proto throttle, and you get to control it, and this is ultimately why I'm trying to get this braking setup working, is that I'd like to be able to use the proto throttle with these locomotives. But something I did learn is I was sent an article that with ESU decoders, you should put dynamic braking on the brake, not independent braking on the brake, but yet everybody says that you should use independent braking. So I don't know. I feel like this is one of those cases where I'm getting too much information from too many different people. And what I need to do is, Don Iris has offered to help me. He's apparently very good with ESU decoders. I need to find some time and set up some time with him to go through my setup and, you know, figure this out. And the good thing is this figure 8 layout now allows me to do that. It allows me to test the locomotives and really, you know, see what the momentum is and what it's doing and all of that sort of thing. Yeah, exactly, Lynn. I think I need to just I need to stick with one person, and I think Don's going to be the guy because he knows, or the other person might be RailServe John 2618 as well, because he was taught by Don Iris, so he might be able to help me out as well. Dennis, I will not be adding additional cars because you might not be able to see it from where you are, but the locomotive is struggling with this amount of cars. I'm tempted to, you know, I can try the 6-axle on here and see if we can get things pulling a little better with the 6-axle, but this GP30 is only doing so much. So Russ Rockino Railroad, I remember the very first time I ran with momentum and crashed my locomotive, and that happens. That switcher rolls 6 more inches even when you stop it abruptly. Really? Huh. Sounds exhausting. It could be, and that's why I don't know that I'd have it roll that far. Is that Don who named all of my turnouts? I don't know who named your turnouts. I don't know the answer. Yes, that is correct. But with that being correct, I still don't know how to program my locomotives to actually, work. Just want them to work. I did find out I do have, I think it is 2 locomotives with Loc-Sound 5 decoders, which is a really great thing. I'm looking for this. I couldn't find it. It was right in front of me. That have Loc-Sound 5 decoders, and what I'm kind of thinking is that I will focus on those decoders with the Loc-Sound 5 ones, just because they have more features and I know I can get them working. I know they should work, and then I will go back and get there. So the stalling on the frog issues seems to be specific to BLI locomotives. And I had thought that the locomotives were stalling on the frogs, but what it really was just that the locomotive was stalling all the time. So I don't think it is that way. So Don in Discord is Don Head, who is Quest Western is his layout, but Don may or may not be here, but different Don. Don Iris, IRACE, is primarily on Facebook. But yeah, see, John, and I wish I didn't have to say no more. I wish I would say, oh, it's a BLI issue, and people would be like, oh, that's so odd. I don't have any issues with mine. And there are some people that have very few issues with theirs, but I don't know. Scale Trains recently put out that video, talking about some of the problems that they've been having with manufacturing. And I thought that was really interesting, because I think that says something about the company, even though, they didn't have to. But the whole reason... The whole reason I switched to BLI locomotives, was twofold. One was to get the brake function, but 2 was to have more reliable locomotives. And the locomotives run fantastically compared to the other locomotives. The only issue that I have is figuring out this braking thing. So I'm trying to think if there's a way I can add a countdown timer and do that as well. John, yeah, I know. Actually, BLI is setting this up. There are a lot of reasons why I set this up. One of the other reasons is that some people say that BLI locomotives really need to be broken in. So my thought is that this gives me another way to break in my BLI locomotives and just let them run. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work or not work, or I just don't know. But it's, I just realized I folded this in half, and I shouldn't have, because I still have more that I could have printed on that one. So I now have this was the last one I needed to make. I now have car cards for every boxcar that was in... I'm thinking every boxcar that was in JMRI now has a car card, and all of my ESU locomotives now have a car card. So I don't know. Somehow now I need to create the waybills and figure out the movement of the cars to go along with these. So that's kind of what I'm hoping that this Bruce Chubb book is going to do, is at least get me started on the right page. I do have the OpSig compendium, but that thing is so huge, it's intimidating to me. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, Split Rock. I thought they didn't need to, but I don't know. They need to run in order to break it. I know. I don't know. I don't know. My Paragon 4s run a lot better than my Paragon's 3s, but the Paragon 4 that was running perfectly is also now the one that's giving me problems. Yeah, this locomotive I've run a bunch. This GP30, the locomotive that's pulling this line of cars has it's been running for a while on that layout over there. So I wouldn't do this with one of the locomotives right out of the box. Yes. It's funny you say that. I was actually thinking of just because I have all the cars on the track, I was just going to turn it around and run it the other direction just so that I get it to, run in the opposite direction a little bit. All right, so I'm supposedly, let's turn the sound on. No sound. Oh, interesting. Wait a second. Oh, no. Keep going. Sound on. Start moving. Okay. It's not getting warm yet. So here's something that I just found. So I just turned the sound on. You probably can't hear it, but the sound is now on the locomotive. So now when I turn it off, it's going to run for 60 seconds. Right? But now if I hit the independent brake, it stops. I don't understand. So the independent brake only works if the sound is on the locomotive. I mean, that's what we all just saw that, right? So Otter Creek and Rio Grande, this is the Don Head that was on Discord that named your thing, named your turnouts. I would expect breaking into no logos to get whatever lubricants they added at the factory to spread around. That could be true. That could be true too. I don't, can anyone explain that to me? I would really appreciate it. Why? Actually, I'm curious to see if this is going to go around the corners. Why did the independent brake work with sound on, but not with sound off? And is that a feature? Like, is that in the manual somewhere? Does it say that in the manual? And now, oh, there we go. All right, so this is 111. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to load up my profile for 111. Oh, you're at a bench in a pizza restaurant? You're watching my stream from a pizza restaurant? So we'll go over to the driver's cab. We'll hit go. Yes, this is Union Pacific 111. Oh. And this happens a lot with the Loc programmer for whatever reason. Where's my IO ports? Nope, it still says it's there. But like right now, it won't let me hit go. Oh, it was going. Sound just wasn't on. There we go. Maybe. It's not talking to me. What are you doing? Oh, well, now it's working. So this is again weird where I'm trying to get the sound on, and I don't know why the sound isn't coming on. But if I try and run, it is. It's 11:11. I know. I know it is. Hi, Heath. I wonder if I just have the volume on this thing down really low. This makes me nervous. Hold on, slow down. I don't know why the sound's not coming on. I will have to figure that out at some point. But anyway, so I guess it does make it around the corners. That's pretty good. 111D1. There you go. There you go. Does it have sound in it or not? It 100% has sound. I may need to go in here. Let's see. Sound slot settings. Where is it? Function mapping, F8, sound slot 1. Sound slot 1 should be the sound. Let's, though, go now down here and go sound slot 1, value 1. Sound slot configure... Oh, sound CV 1, value. Is that the volume? Because this then says sound slot configuration. And it's... Do we think this is the master volume? I don't know. We're gonna write it. We'll write it to the locomotive. What could go wrong? It's definitely a sound decoder. It's also a Loc Sound 5 micro. So breaking in is to put curved wear on the brushes. When the loco is new, the brushes are flat. Ralph, we were talking earlier and people were saying, are the current modern locomotives, though, I thought they were brushless. Try sending it and find out. So if I turn that on, so it started moving right away. So this guy was programmed using JMRI. So I might need to go into JMRI to figure this out because I still don't understand. Oh. It derailed. I programmed this using JMRI originally, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm not programming it. Oh, Ralph, you're an ESU guy. I should ask you. Why does the independent brake on a micro select whatever, why does an independent brake only work when the sound is on? The motors are not brushless. They are 5-pole motors. There you go. Kato, Atlas, Athearn, N still have motors with brushes as far as I know. There you go. Quality motor will have shaped brushes and not need much wear. And that was my understanding as well. Press F8. F8 is pressed. If we go back here, you can see F8's pressed. It's right there. Trying to... Huh. it keeps, every time it goes around this corner right here, it comes off the track. So it's coming off the track because, oh, and of course my head's in the way, but you can see here, I've got nothing under this section here. So when the locomotive just goes over it, it just sags down a little bit, and that's just enough to knock it off the track. But yeah. All right, so we'll go back to this guy. We'll open this up. This is 2246. Save changes, no. Go back to here, hit go. Sound is coming on, I can hear it. And, oh, that's the wrong thing. Nope. I want to go the other way. There we go. Should start going in a second. I think that's the problem I'm having with this guy, is with the sound off, I can't tell if it's completing the startup process or not. But this one definitely just started up, but now it's not going in reverse. Nothing is holding. All right, that definitely stopped it. It's going. I don't know that you can hear the sound. Oh, now it's moving. No rich. Oh, geez. Now I get why you're saying that. I was like, why are you saying that? The wheels are 100% slipping on this locomotive. This locomotive, they weren't. I just don't know why I couldn't get the sound on this one. This locomotive, once I got up to like 3 cars, it stopped pulling. So I stopped. Yell vulgarities added, it might help. I don't know. Yeah, what the ESU Loc programmer is definitely faster, but I don't know why. I feel a little more comfortable with JMRI the way it's laid out. Like, I can't figure out why this locomotive isn't producing sound, and I like that in JMRI I could, you know, I could just, you know, you can see it all on one page and whatnot. The LOL programmer is great. It's such a useful tool if you have a lot of loc sound decoders, and that's why I got it. I got it because of the number of loc sound decoders that I have. But it's confusing. I don't think it's I don't think some of the descriptions are necessarily 100% accurate. But yeah, Mike, I had pushed. I mean, let's put it on there. We'll see if I can get it get the sound. I definitely pushed F8. So let's see. So let's take this off. So I'll reload. So what I did initially was I loaded it up, and I just read all of the, you know, I read all the decoders, right? So, you know what I'm going to do? Hold on. Let's get rid of that. Display settings. This could mess everything up. We're going to find out, though. I'm afraid if I do that. I don't want to do that. I was going to try and make it bigger so people could see, but if I do it, it might mess up a lot of things. Let's see. Can I change the scale? There we go. That'll work. Okay. So now we're here. So yeah, so F8, sound slot 1. Now what I don't know is sound settings here. Sound CV1. I don't know if that's like a master sound volume. Play Steam Chuffs according to... Oh, here we go. Master volume. So maybe that's my problem. Next. Let's see if this does it. Yeah, I had pushed it because you don't know what the CVs are. JMRI... Yes, correct. But you shouldn't have to know what the CVs are either for... with the Loc programmer, because they add names to it also. Alright, that's what it was. It's not gonna... I've got it set to block out everything, so it's not doing it. Oh, hold on. When I scaled it up, some things now are not showing. Apparently I scaled it up too much. The fader's not showing. Here, let's try it here. There we go. There's the fader. Go back to here. So now the sound's on. So that was what it was. Is at some point I had programmed down the master volume. So the reason I was asking what CV1 is... Sorry, one second. The reason I was asking what CV1 is because if I go here and I go down to here, it says sound CV1, sound CV1. I don't know what sound CV1 is. So that's what I was asking. Because I didn't know it's set at a value of 1, but I don't know what sound CV1 is. Because CV1 is not... Oh. Thanks, Roy. Sorry. So sound CV1, sound CV2, sound CV3, see, like, I know CV8 is, you set CV8 to 8 and you reset a decoder, right? But, see you later, John. Yeah, thanks, Cameron. So I don't know what is sound CV8. That doesn't make any sense. So I was asking what is sound CV1 because I didn't know if maybe I needed to change the value of sound CV1 for some reason. So that's what I was asking. I don't know what a sound CV is outside of a... What is different between a sound CV and a DCC NMRA compliant CV? I don't know the answer to that. It's still not showing certain things. Name. Now it's saying name is 106. This is, there we go. I don't know what's going on with this. It's all, it seems to be all funky. Let's try reloading it. Open existing. Look programmer 111. CV is a configuration. There you go. Configuration variable. Let's go back down here. See, like that. I don't know what that is. Sound settings, master volume. So let's save this and send that to the thing just because I know that'll work. Drew dudes, start over. I've got a figure 8 now. That's my layout. So CV8 isn't a complete reset. I thought CV8 factory reset the decoder back to however it came out of the factory. Is that not correct? Does it not do that? I just realized master volume's now at 150. I didn't know you could bring the value up over 100. And also, I don't know why like master volume only goes up to 192. Why doesn't it go up to 255? I would that's the kind of stuff like I would like to have a manual from ESU Loc that says, you know, master volume only goes up to 192. It doesn't go up to 255. So, no. Not true for all decoders. So CV8 to 8, well, I know CV8 to 8 isn't the reset for every decoder, but I thought whatever the reset value was, and on a lot of them it is CV8 to 8, I thought that reset it to factory, but now I think CV8 can be set to different value, right, different values for different things, correct. No, we are doing Loc decoders. I have a bunch of BLI stuff, but I'm switching over to ESU Loc for a multitude of reasons. See, that's what I thought. CV8 to 8 is a factory reset, but Ralph was saying that is not correct. So I'm wondering what. Are you saying that's not always true because sometimes it's not CV8 to 8? Or are you saying that's not true because whatever the standard is, oh, sometimes it's only a partial reset? I don't know how you would know that. Does it say it in the manual? Oh. So it still derails around this corner. This locomotive does. This locomotive does not like that corner. I think it's because it's a 6-axle. What are manuals? I know. Yes, it does give the manual online. It's in the manual, you just haven't read it. Yeah, because I kept trying to read the manual about independent braking, and it was completely useless that I didn't read the rest of the manual. ECU has worse manuals than Digitrack. See, somebody agrees with me. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks that. Yeah, save that. Let's go here. Let's go into reverse. If someone can show me a manual that explains independent braking, I will read the rest of the manual. I just want to understand independent braking. That's what I want to understand. No, so right. So Ralph, I get that there's a list of CVs, and I get that list tells you what that CV is for. My problem is that everybody keeps telling me that you should use independent braking to stop a locomotive when you have momentum set. So I know all of the CVs to set. The problem is the locomotive is not doing what supposedly all of those settings are supposed to do. And the problem is I need to understand all the rest of the stuff. I don't need to know what CV settings to set. I need to know that when I have these CVs set, that this is how it functions and why it functions that way. And that's what I'm missing, right? Setting the CVs is easy. Knowing what those yeah. Like, why does independent braking on an ESU decoder only work if F8 is pressed? Yeah, Thomas, I know, but it doesn't tell me. All right, so here, just for sake of argument, I come here, right? Can people see it? I'll make it bigger. Let's make it bigger. So here's my issue, is I have, so if the locomotive's moving forward, when F6 is pressed, the sound is independent brake, the logical function is dimmer, which relates to the headlight. So when I press F6, when it's moving forward, the front headlight dims, and it plays the independent brake sound. Now, if I don't have F8 pressed, the locomotive does not stop. If I have F8 pressed, the locomotive stops. So let's look at F8. F8 is the sound file for the Alco 6-cylinder 539T full throttle. Why does the sound being set to the locomotive sounds, why does whether that is on or off, why does it affect independent braking? And there's no, from what I can find, the only CVs related to independent braking are CVs related to the sound, right? Like I can go down to here, sound slot settings, 11, independent brake. I can set this stuff. I can set that the independent brake sound will only play if drive sounds are enabled. But does that mean that to get the motive function of independent brake to work, that drive sound needs to be enabled? It doesn't tell me that. I don't know whether drive sound enabled is related to independent brake function. And I can't find anything anywhere that explains that in detail. Drive hold's a completely different thing. Drive hold is a sound slot 2 setting, which I'm also confused by, because I'm also trying to get somebody to explain to me that why. I also don't understand drive hold. Right, so F8 is usually only sound on and sound off. So why does the independent brake not work when the sound is off? Right, why does the brake function need sound to be turned on for the brake function to work? And if there are, I know, right? I took 5 years of German in high school, and it's doing me absolutely absolutely no good. Yeah. No, so I know what drive hold is supposed to do. I also know that drive hold isn't working, but I don't know why. And I'd like somebody to explain why. You know, I don't understand why F2 physical output is aux7, and aux7 is one of the outputs on the decoder. Oh, wait, I moved it, sorry. Drive hold is F4, right? So if the locomotive is stopped and you press F4, it should have drive hold. But it doesn't right now. So this is actually one of the things about model railroading that I love. I actually love this part of it. What I'm frustrated by is that I can't figure out the solution. And I feel like I'm usually pretty good at figuring this stuff out. Like I now know that I can go and I could use F6 independent brake, right? So let's come back here. All right, so we'll start it up. The sound is on. You probably can't hear the sound, but the sound is on. So I can ramp this locomotive up. And then I turn it off and it'll keep moving. But if I press F6 and hold it, it stops. Only if the sound is on. See again, why does drive hold only work with the sound on? And why doesn't the manual? I know. Drive hold can be whatever you set it to. So what I've been doing is I've been trying to, I think I showed this earlier. I'm trying to set this to this sort of setup, right? So F4, I'm eventually going to set to dynamic brakes. Which I actually have here. Okay, right. So if it's stopped, I got to switch. So if the locomotive is stopped and you press F4, it is drive hold. So you'll be able to drive up the locomotive, the sound will come up, but the locomotive won't move. If the locomotive is moving and you press F4, it's the dynamic brake, as long as F6 also isn't hit. If F6 is hit, that overrides the drive F4, and it's the independent brake, which then dims the headlights as you... Steve, I get that drive hold is a sound function, but it is also a physical function. If you turn on drive hold and run the throttle up, the locomotive will not move. So turning on drive hold changes the throttle. Right. Correct. Drive hold's a sound feature that when you ramp it up and drive hold is on, the locomotive should not go any faster. But that's not what's happening. I mean, the ESU stuff has been fantastic. It's the manuals that I feel like I'm having issues with. What is the help menu at the top? It's the typical ESU supports forum, checking for new versions, and about Loc Programmer. So it's not like a searchable something. Drew. I know it is. I know something's wrong. I just can't find any information as to what that is. So I don't Yeah, so okay, so let's use drive hold. We can so drive hold, right? I have set to F4. Oh, okay, wait, hold on. So turn this off, right? So I'm gonna hit F8 to turn sound on. Now I'm gonna hit F4 to turn on drive hold. And let's hit F9 also, because that's also drive hold. So the locomotive should not move when I raise up the throttle. The only thing the locomotive should do is it should make more noise. So I'm going to raise up the throttle. And of course, now it works. Now it's working. Now if I release drive hold, now it starts moving. The reason I would activate drive hold when the engine is not running is just to rev up the engine. Yeah, I've tried to get RailServe John's been working a lot. He's agreed to come on here. If he can't come on here, maybe I'll just check with Don Iris. Yeah, I know, right? Now it works. I don't know. I can't win. I can't win. All right. So now it's just rolling, and that was stopped on PEBCAK. I don't know what that means. Yeah, drive remains unchanged. So right. So theoretically, if the locomotive was moving, now I'm curious if this will actually work. And if I put on drive hold while it's moving, and then crank up the throttle, it's actually work. So now drive hold is working. I don't know why. I don't know what is different than what I did previously. Yeah, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. But show me some documentation. I want some documentation so I can understand it. Because I don't get it. Some people would argue that that it's not great. It all depends on who you. It all depends on who you talk to about it. Some people really like ESU. Some people really like soundtracks. I think so. ESU follows a lot of the NMRA DCC standard, but not all of it. And some people get a little frustrated by that, so they refuse to use ESU decoders because of that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that it's better. ESU comes factory installed. Soundtracks very, very rarely comes factory installed. I think there is a Athearn or a Walthers HO locomotive that comes Soundtracks factory installed. But yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of look. Oh, also works with amp draw. Interesting. So if I look at I have like an alpha meter. If I look at the alpha meter and ramp it up, well, I guess because as the sound increases, it pulls more amperage. We all know what Jason says. Jason is a Soundtracks fanboy, 110%. Oh, Athearn uses TSU? So maybe it's Walthers. Somebody is now putting Soundtracks decoders in as standard. I don't remember who it is. I do have one TSU decoder in a Microtrains SW1500. But wait, TSU is Soundtracks. What? Am I thinking the wrong thing? Oh, TSU is Tsunami. Oh, sorry. Oh, I didn't realize that. Then what do I have? What's the, now I'm, Walthers is ESU, so I don't know who it is. Oh, TCS. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I'm thinking of TCS. I have one locomotive with TCS. Oh, what do I know? See, everybody using all these things, all these acronyms. I don't know what anyone's talking about. Bachmann uses TCS. So who's using... Oh, wait, you meant to say TCS and you said TSU? So who is using soundtracks? I know somebody is. I just don't know who. Jason, where are you when I need you? If the loco goes uphill or the draw becomes higher, the sound will follow. On ESU decoders? There we go. Athearn Genesis, soundtrack TSU. Okay, gotcha. There you go. That's really cool. Yeah, so a big part of this loop, as I've said, is to break in locomotives and I don't know why it's starting to stutter. Break in locomotives, update the programming, figure all this nonsense out, because a lot of this is just, it's over my head and I want to understand it. Yeah, Frank, I don't know if you remember, well, I know you remember, but the GG1 you gave me is Soundtrack's Value, and that decoder is terrible. Something, I don't know what it is, but that was my one and only experience with Soundtracks, and it was pretty bad. So that's kind of it. Soundtracks needs. That is true as well. ESU definitely has more bidirectional features. If you use the ESU ECOS system, or you're using Railcom, why should I get rid of the crossover? I intentionally put the crossover in to add track length, because it adds track length to the in this small area. If I went straight across, I wouldn't have as much track as I do when it crosses in the center. So that's why I did that. Yeah, no, I get that it's their sound value, but like all the companies have value decoders. So, oh, Walters used to use Soundtracks. Okay. Athearn. So it is Athearn. Is Athearn the one in Colorado? I don't know. I'm waiting for Ralph's response because I'm kind of curious why he says to get rid of the crossovers. Sound value is a cheap knockdown version of Soundtracks and doesn't compare. I get that, but I sort of feel like if I'm getting into sound decoders and my first experience is a Soundtrack's value decoder, I'm not gonna buy. I'm not gonna buy it. Less strain on a loco for breaking it in. Oh, interesting. So is the idea when breaking in a locomotive that I want it to run as straight as long as possible? Yeah, I knew Soundtracks was in Colorado. I thought there might have been a manufacturer based out of there as well, but I don't remember. But back to this. So when you want to break in a loco, should you run it straight as long as you can run it straight for? And running it straight, get the largest loop as possible or oval. Yeah, right now, this is about the extent of it. And that's why I got these corners so tight as well, is just so it fits on my desk. And I can put it on my desk. I could potentially add some like straights in here to make this a little bit longer too. Because I was just thinking, about just making it as long as possible was the goal. But I can make it straight too, that's easy enough. I've got a bunch of straight track. And it would leave the center of the desk open too, which is better. If you're just getting into DCC sound and never heard sound from your logos before, you would like it to hear better stuff. That's probably true. Who assembles and tests? Soundtracks assembles and tests in Colorado. Do they, I guess they get all the components elsewhere, probably. But it's starting to have problems. Running in reverse. I was at 50%. I just, figure 8 also allows for turning left and right without reversing in direction. There you go. And figure 8's also, if you ever go on YouTube and look up figure 8 racing, it's pretty awesome watching figure 8 racing, especially when they're towing big trailers and stuff behind them, which is a lot of fun as well. So, yeah. Every curve adds resistance on the wheels on the track, more friction. So it's not so much an issue after they're broken in, it's just when they're broken in. Or when they're being broken in. Go around. Walters is in Milwaukee, is a warehouse. Corporate moved to something else, Wisconsin. Oh, interesting. I like the fact that TCU Wow Sound had audio assist. So it tells you what to do to get what you want instead of an unreadable menu. Huh. Well, if you did it, 50% simple train running, 50% complex train running. Yeah, I think which isn't a good neighborhood, where the Walters warehouse is or where Walters corporate is? Yeah. Oh, I love the school bus ones too. I love the school bus ones. TSU Wow Sound. One of the things I know people talk about with soundtracks that they really like is DDE. But I think ESU has a version of that as well. But I don't know the details on it. Not TSU, TCS. TCS Wow Sound. Did I say TSU Wow Sound? Waukesha. Oh, Waukesha's the bad neighborhood? Yeah, I don't know how to say anything. You keep saying TSU. No, I did. You guys have gotten me so confused. I just wanted to run trains in a circle. That's all I wanted. I didn't want all of this nonsense with car cards and programming DCC sound decoders and all kinds of craziness. Yeah. Paragon 2 was QSI, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And the book I just finished reading that I mentioned earlier, whose name I'm forgetting right now, came out in 2004 or something. He actually talked about the first sound decoders that he knew about coming out were the Paragon sound decoders, which I thought was interesting because I thought Soundtracks came out with sound decoders before BLI did, but this book that I was reading that had some good research in it stated that Paragon came out with the first sound decoders. So Frank says they did. I don't know whether he's talking about Soundtracks or Paragon. I lived the long, yeah, I like the long train chasing its tail. I agree. Yeah, you guys did break me. I am definitely broken. Oh, that's funny. I lived in Wisconsin almost 40 years before moving, and I still can't pronounce half of the cities in Wisconsin. I get that. I get that. But Waukesha is a suburb of Milwaukee. Ah, city adjacent. Gotcha. Technically. We don't deal with technicalities here. Housebroken. Who's housebroken? Me? I don't know that I'm housebroken. So now what I need to do, I have to work on this desk tomorrow. So I think the thing I need to do now is put all of these boxcars back in the cases from whence they came so that I'm able to set up a laptop on this this desk tomorrow and go and do that. While I'm putting this away, let me just share this again. These are the same ones I mentioned on Sunday, but these are events that are coming up. Some of them that I'm participating in, some of them that I am not participating in. But if people want more information about any of these events, let me know, and I'll try and I'll try and make it a point to pay attention. But I am doing an op session on Sunday. I'm doing an op session 2 Sundays from now. Both of those layouts are a part of Island Ops, as well as part of the NMRA NER convention. So if you are thinking about doing either of those events and want some more information, particularly about those 2 layouts, that might be interesting. Robert and Wilmer, Robert from Flying Crow, are going down to the Timonium Train Show, April 29th and 30th, and would love to try and meet up with some people while they are down there. So if you're in the area, try and catch up with them. I'm also going to be going to Colorado for the YouTube meet and greet that's a part of Sparky's Adventures, that TSG Multimedia and Michelle Kempema are also involved in hosting. So there's going to be lots of train events and lots of fun and stuff like that. Ray Ron, I showed them maybe halfway or half hour into the stream, I think, is what I did. But yeah, NMRA National Convention going on in Texas. And that's kind of some of the bigger events. There are a lot of train shows around as well. So, get out, support your local peoples. But yeah. We have figure 8, Jeff Sykes, we have figure 8 racing at Flat Rock Speedway in Michigan. We also have bus figure 8. Every once in a while, I will go down a rabbit hole and just start watching the figure 8 racing. And it is just, I don't know. Does it ever really get any better than that? I don't think it does. I love that you're going to the Santa Barbara Zoo. I think that's so awesome. Yeah, no blue smoke. Well, I did kind of have a little bit of a rant, and smoke may have been coming out of my ears during my rant, so I can't say there is or was no smoke, but it was definitely minimal. But yeah, trailer races. When you say trailer races, you're talking about in a figure 8 or trailer races not in a figure 8? Because I've seen the trailer races with the figure 8s where they're pulling like boats. A lot of times they'll have like an old boat on it or something like that. And I just think that's hilarious to me and fun to watch. So yeah, that's all good. Anybody, any questions about anything while I'm packing up? I will, once I get this sort of wrapped up, I'll be calling it a night. So 2 big tasks on my bench are figuring out this ESU stuff, which I'm getting closer on. I'm starting to understand the nuances of ESU, and apparently sound has to be on for anything to work, which I am learning. But yeah, am I having fun yet? I am. I'm a part of a roundtable next week talking about new media in model railroading, and I am the YouTube representative. We also have a representative that does podcasting and that does Facebook and NMRAX and various things. And, I really have kind of, just thinking about that roundtable coming up, it's really pretty incredible how we've all kind of come together and met each other all through this, common hobby, but all, all virtually, at least at first, all virtually. And the meet and greets have been fantastic to be able to meet people in person, but you still can't. The reach that we have online is just incredible. So yeah, model railroading is fun. Speed Mueller likes to say, if you're stressed out or frustrated about something, just go run some trains. And I think that is, kind of a true story, or a true ism, or whatever you want to say. And yeah, but I'll be around. I'm going to keep banging on stuff. If people want to help me bang on stuff, I'm, I've always got stuff going on. From the city that never sleeps, farewell, model citizens.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.